Today we are going to discuss my results after I took an online autism test. Some of my results surprised me, while others were expected. The site I chose was idrlabs.com. I have no affiliation with this site. I found it using Google. I will put a link to this site in the description if you are interested to take this test for yourself. Or you can just Google autism spectrum test and find a site that makes more sense to you. The reason I chose this site among all the ones I found was twofold. First, you do not have to give any personal information to get your results after taking the test. They immediately show up on screen. The second is I like the way the test results are displayed. I am a very visual person, and your results are in a wheel chart, and it's a very awesome way to see your results. While I recommend taking it, this is for entertainment purposes only. An online self-test is not a replacement for talking to a professional. So the test that I did do consists of 50 questions that you answer using a 5-part scale from agree to neutral to disagree, and the results are then plotted out on a category wheel that consists of 10 categories. The more shaded a category is, the more of that trait you associate with. Most of these traits on their own can be associated with just everyday life for a neurotypical person. Neurotypical being a term used to describe someone that is, quote, normal. The best example is the category of aggression. I know there is a fair share of people out there with anger issues that would not be considered autistic for sure. The 10 categories are aggression, depression, fixations, abnormal or flat speech, noise sensitivity, social difficulty, anxiety, abnormal posture, poor eye contact, and tics and fidgets. After you take the test, there is a definition of each of these that you get along with the score. So I took the test twice at specific times, and I answered honestly. And then I took the test 2 more times as a control, starting with the controls. The first control I did, I answered neutral to every single question on the test. And as you can see from this chart, answering neutral puts the color shading smack in the middle of the test results. This is what I would have expected to see. So for the second control, which was the last time I took the test, I tried to answer what I thought would be the most neurotypical answer. I did pretty well in my guesses, but you can see from my results, I still missed a few. Again, both of these controls were taken after I had taken my 2 tests because I did not want to have prior insight to the questions when I took them for the first time. So for my first test, I took it at the end of my day, winding down, laying in bed, and I was in a good mood. I found some of the questions to be worded in a way that was kind of difficult, but maybe that was part of the test to see if you understood the question properly. Here are my results. As you can see, my highest ratings were aggression, fixations, and poor eye contact. This did not surprise me, but what did was abnormal speech and posture. While I admit I may not have the best posture, I could not think of what questions I answered that would have put this as high as it did on my answers at first, and then I thought about how I pause to formulate what I want to say, and then I had to agree maybe it is where it should be on my results. The second time I took the test, I decided to do so right after a stressful situation at work. The results were very interesting to me. As you may expect, aggression spiked fully, But also social difficulty and depression went up as well. This kind of makes sense. But anxiety went down. I would have thought that that would have gone up as well. But maybe the way the questions are worded, in my anger at the time, it made me answer a question slightly differently. All my other categories, as you can see, pretty much stayed the same, which kind of makes me comfortable in thinking this is a fair test and representation. For a bonus, I had my partner take this test, knowing nothing about what to expect. Her results show that I should have had her create the controls. She blew through the test with ease, but had the same questioning on some of the wording that I did, so I was not alone. If you decide to take this test, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with your results. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, please give a like and subscribe if you have not done so.